First of all, I appreciate the members of the press being here today. I have a brief statement that I'm going to read, and then I'll be glad to take any questions that you might have for me. Good afternoon to all of you. I've called this press conference today for the opportunity to respond broadly to the events of the past 6 months, which were set in motion by John Phillips, Rob Varner, John Wells, A.J. Sr., and Beth Harris. Let me begin by stating that I have received no communication from the Muskogee County School District, John Phillips, or anyone associated with the malicious and false accusations that were made against me since I was totally and completely exonerated on Friday. I deserve, but certainly do not expect, an apology from Rob Varner, John Phillips, Beth Harris, A.J. Sr., and John Wells. Rob Varner, John Phillips, John Wells, A.J. Sr., and Beth Harris have set an incredibly poor example for the students in their care, engaging in bullying, name-calling, and intimidation. These accusations have been reviewed now by 3 separate entities: the Georgia State Senate Ethics Committee, the Georgia Bureau of Investigation, and the Office of the Attorney General. There's one thing in common about all 3 of these reviews. Every one of these organizations has completely cleared me. Now, I want to thank Agent Wayne Smith of the Georgia Bureau of Investigation for his professionalism in handling this matter, this review that was instigated at the insistence of John Phillips and John Wells and Rob Varner. I want to thank the other personnel involved at the GBI and the Office of Attorney General for handling this matter in a thorough, professional fashion. I do regret the thousands of dollars in taxpayer resources wasted and hours of manpower wasted because of the political vendetta of a few. But of course, that was outside my control. Now, after hearing for months from my accusers that they could not comment on this matter while the review was pending, it is time for those who instigated this review to be called to account for the expenditure of thousands of taxpayer dollars to examine their meritless charges. The truth is, the reason I've been smeared by these 5 individuals is that I exercised my First Amendment right as a citizen and a public official charged with, among other things, oversight of K through 12 education, to sound an alarm about wasteful spending practices at the Muskogee County School District. Because John Phillips, Rob Varner, A.J. Sr., Beth Harris, and John Wells have absolutely no defense for their misappropriation of public resources, which are taken from the citizens of this community to educate our children. They resorted to tactics that frankly one associates with countries that do not share our democratic traditions. Let there be no doubt about it. These people abused their power, wasting even more taxpayer money, which frankly I didn't believe was possible. And they involved other government agencies in their quest to silence me. John Phillips, Rob Varner, A.J. Sr., Beth Harris, and John Wells should be ashamed of themselves for responding to a policy question with attempted intimidation. But the greater shame is that John Phillips, during his tenure as superintendent, was paid hundreds of thousands of dollars from taxpayers while utterly failing to improve education for our children. I'm frankly relieved that he's no longer in a position to move the Board of Education in a direction that has divided this community in so many ways for too long, while doing nothing to advance the mission of educating the children of Muskogee County. This entire episode is the result of John Phillips, Rob Varner, A.J. Sr., Beth Harris, and John Wells' cowardly and desperate attempt to do anything to distract this community from their breathtaking waste of education dollars in Columbus and their abject failure to follow their mission of putting the 32,000 or so children of Muskogee County ahead of themselves. Any observer will tell you that our school board is dysfunctional, spending more time on insignificant trivia than prudent financial planning to meet the needs of the children they are supposed to serve. Unfortunately, this sort of dysfunction is not limited to Muskogee County. One only has to read the news to see the dysfunction occurring across our state. I am determined to take this ugly episode and bring forth positive action to improve the educational destiny of young students here in Columbus and throughout our state. That is why I have been spending the last several months consulting with several educational experts, including Fife Whiteside, a 16-year veteran of the Muskogee County School Board, to develop a package of educational reforms that will end no-bid, sole-source contracts that are sweetheart deals for those that get them while taking money away from the education of our children. These reforms will also address staffing levels at schools around our state. You might be surprised to learn that over the 15-year period from 1994 to 2009, Georgia experienced an increase of 40% in student enrollment. However, hiring of non-teaching personnel, people that have no involvement in the classroom, grew almost at twice that rate. Had we simply forced school districts to limit that hiring to keep up with the increase in student population, we would have saved Georgia taxpayers over $900 million. That is enough money to give every teacher in Muskogee County and every teacher in the state of Georgia a $7,700 raise. I want the message sent loud and clear to those who maliciously attempted and failed to blacken my name in this community. I am not going away. I am not going to stop until we put the children of this community first. I will not be intimidated. And thankfully, as people have seen my willingness to stand up to this bullying, they are sharing important information that will help me as I partner with colleagues of both parties from diverse communities in the General Assembly to effect necessary reform. I intend to move forward and work with anyone who is interested in improving educational opportunities for the children of Muskogee County and the state of Georgia. I am hopeful with the new superintendent in place that I will have that opportunity.